Hello, this is Rick from Rick's Video Games, and I recently, just picked up. I want to say another two games, and of course the system I got. I'll show y'all here in a minute. And I bought them through Lukie Games. It's a good website. Sometimes you can get some good deals. Sometimes they're rather on the high side, but it just really depends on what you're looking for. And also wanted to share, since this is my first video since before Christmas, I also want to share two of my Christmas gifts that I got, and there was shirts. And the first one here I got is a shirt that I had gotten from my boss. She knows I like video games, and she had gotten me this Zelda shirt here. It's the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker shirt. There's the little logo on the bottom there. I don't know if I can zoom in on that or not, but anyway, I thought it was cool. And the other one I gotten from my sister-in-law and brother for Christmas, and it kind of goes with my personality, but more on the sarcastic side. But anyway, it says, "I don't get older, I level up." I still get a little bit of kick out of that, so there's that. Yeah, I haven't even unboxed the stuff yet. I know normally I just open the box, make sure everything's in there. This time I didn't do that. So it might be a little bit of a longer video, but oh well. Take out one of my personal favorite knives. I forget what these kind of knives were called, but my buddy told me once upon a time, and they're a Japanese style knife. Even though this one says it's made in China and is stainless steel, might be a bit of a difference there. But anyway, back to the unboxing. Pack and slip. And of course, the good stress relief, or another good thing is if you got nieces or nephews that are bugging you, just give them to them and they can go pop them. My nieces enjoy that at least. And let's see, our first game that I got is the same buddy I just told you about with the knife. He knows what they're called and everything. Me and him played this for I don't know how long, but seems like it was a few hours at least. But I think we ended up beating the game. And of course, it's been always one of the ones I like to go back to and everything too. But anyway, Smash TV. If you haven't played it, I recommend checking it out at least. And the other game I got is on Game Gear. It's WWF Raw. And I think that makes me with all the wrestling games on Game Gear. I'm not too sure. But anyway, I like the wrestling games and the boxing games and, of course, the beat-em-ups. So, if I do anything, I get those ones the first off. And that way, if I decide, well, I'll go ahead and finish off the game collection, which I'm working on my regular Nintendo one. Lord knows I'm going to be sinking some money into that. But anyway, if I decide to keep on with the games out of that collection, at least I'll have ones that I can always go back to if I don't like the games that I did per se buy at that time. I'll still have those beat 'em ups and wrestling games, you know, that say if I feel like still playing like the Game Gear or on the Game Boy and stuff like that. Let's see. Alright. I do got 4 other things here, but they're manuals. I got a pretty good deal on them at the time, but you got the Super Mario Bros. 2 manual. And we got Duck Hunt and Super Mario Brothers. And even though I'd already did a video on this, I still didn't have the manual to it, so we went and got it. Pinbot. That's probably one of my favorite pinball games, by the way. And Silent Service. I think I paid less than $1 for the Silent Service and Pinbot ones. I'm not too sure. I just know I got a really good deal on them. I can't remember the price. Shame the packing slip don't tell me. But anyway, the big daddy of the box that I gotten. And I was wanting to get one of these for the longest time anyways now. And I finally had enough money to actually do it. And we got Retron 5. And in this case, y'all didn't know, I'm pretty sure everybody knows by now. But anyway, the Retron 5 will play your Game Boy Advance games, Game Boy and Game Boy Color, of course, Super Nintendo, and I want to say Super Famicom for some reason. I'll have to try that out. I got 2 Super Famicom games, so that would be easy to do. It plays regular Famicom games, the regular Nintendo games, and of course the Sega Genesis games, and I want to say Master System as well. Yeah. Let me get further down into the listings here, and it says, yeah, Super Famicom games, Mega Drive. You can also play Master System games with use of power-based converter, it says. I want to say I got a little converter. Something I got to look up, I guess. But anyway, you get the console, of course, 1 wireless controller, 1 HD cable, and 1 AC adapter with a 4-variable head socket. I want to say that's an adapter to that, but you never know. I might be needing to get an adapter for that. But anyway, let's open this up. And oh, and by the way, before you play with knives or anything like that, I will recommend that learn how to use them properly first. Otherwise, you're going to end up cutting yourself, some probably really severe if you're not careful. In my perspective, it's really not which way that you use it, because most of the time you'll see me grab it like this and just go across, or like this and go across. To me, I know where to put my fingers, therefore I know how I have complete control over this blade. Like right now, I'm holding it by the blade, but I'm also holding it on the thick part of the blade, so the blade edge itself is still exposed and it's not even touching me. But anyway, I'm not saying that's the right way of holding it. I'm just saying I know how to control it that way. Alrighty. First time I ever seen them open like that on the bottom of the box. But anyways. Alright. Yeah, it's a adapter thing here. It's the socket adapters. Like these, basically. And lucky for us, we're just going to be doing the regular wall outlet. which is the AC adapter that's included. In fact, I don't even know why they sent these, but I'm pretty sure they had a reason. Ah. Okay, well, the regular AC adapter, the part itself is well, you can slide the heads on, basically. And it got a little push button right there, this in case y'all didn't know how that popped off. But anyway, let's get this back in there, because that's the one we'll be using. And the controller, which apparently has buttons in it already. I wonder if these are rechargeables. Something I'll have to do a little bit of configuration into, I guess. Not configuration, but I'll probably just have to look it up. I probably ain't going to configure it. Anyways, okay. I bet you they're something similar to the PlayStation 3, because you got your USB adapter here. Or your cord, I'm sorry. The L plug-in right here, and I bet you that can just charge up through the system, is what I meant to say. And, of course, the HD cable. And we got a manual and some stickers. I guess if you feel like labeling your console, or if you want to decorate something for some reason or another, I probably won't use them myself, but who knows. And of course, here's the manual. It's always good to keep the manuals around, just in case you got questions on how something is done on the console itself. Like, for instance, when the first PSP came out, I had to go back and refer to the console manual for how to put music on there. And that is a very difficult process. I think they could have made it a little bit easier. Hint, hint, Sony. But anyways. Anyways here. We got Retron 5. Get that down there a little bit more. And this one here will be for your Famicom games. And I'm testing the doors here for stiffness, basically. And, of course, your Nintendo. Then your Super Nintendo / Super Famicom. And then Sega, Genesis, and Master System. And they all got nice stiffness to the doors, so, you know, it's nothing that's made cheap like the last one I picked up that was a top-loader console, or it's actually a plug-and-play console, but, what's that called? It's that Sega one yeah, Sega Genesis Classic Games console that I bought from Family Dollar. I went to get it out of the box, just picked it up out of the box, and one of the flaps on the doors fell off. So, I will say be careful for that. And, of course, here's all your little hookups here on the back. Oh, let's see if I can get that a little bit better. There we go. That shows up better. And, of course, your control hookups here. You got... This is a second player for ports for the controllers here. And it's Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo, and Genesis, the ports for the controllers. And the other side is the same way, just basically, I still got the covers on them, and of course they come with the covers here. And that's a good way you can just keep the dust out, basically. Let me port those back up here. There we go. One more. Alright. And let's see, on the front you got your Game Boy port where you will put your Game Boy Advance, Game Boy, and Game Boy Color games. And this is the power button. They got a little vent on the butt end here of the back. And I'm going to say maybe right here on the front, I'm hoping. Because something this big, I would think, would need a lot of breathing, you know, for cooling and everything, basically, so it don't overheat. And this little tray here, when you're done, you can put your controller in it. I've seen that on a few videos. I think Pop Culture Junkie actually had his that way, if I remember. And I'm going to say I would have thought this could have been on the front myself, guys. But I'm going to say that would be the charging part. If you can charge the controllers through there, I'm pretty sure you can. I'm hoping Hyperkin wouldn't, you know, give out a system that there was no way to charging up the batteries there. Says you can range up to 30 feet on the controller. And it's not really saying anything about charging. But anyway, it'll be something I'll play with, and basically I'll find out just by playing with it. Let's put it that way, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this little video I made, and game on.